Are you looking for a way to scale your short-term rental business and buy more properties? Well, co-hosting might be the right fit for you. Welcome to the Co-Host Coach podcast with Joe Roney. This episode of the Co-Host Coach is brought to you by Savvy STR Agents. If you're looking to buy a short-term rental, then contact the STR Savvy Agent team at savvy.realty.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Coach. I am Joe Roney, and we are going to discuss today memory-making business strategies. As we are heading into December, we are heading towards the home stretch, right? We're at the end of the year, but there's one more peak season left, and we have one more little blip on our radar, and that is during the Christmas to New Year's holiday. And it doesn't matter where your short-term rental is, you are likely going to have a good chance to get booked because the occupancy is going up significantly. More and more people are traveling during the holidays, whether they're coming to your short-term rental during the holidays, whether they're staying there after the holidays for New Year's, if it's their winter break, whatever it may be. If you're at the beach, the mountains, snow market, Arizona, doesn't matter. People are traveling. And as people are traveling, they're also thinking about where they want to stay during the summer. And we talk about it all the time. Summer booking season begins on Christmas Day. What better way for you to start getting Christmas bookings than to have somebody that's at your property for the holidays rebook with you for their summer vacation? And you're going to be able to do this by making that memorable experience. You got to create that memorable experience. And there's so many different ways you can do it, but what are some things that you can do during the holidays in your properties? Now, if you're a co-host and you have 30, 40, 50, 100 properties, or even if you're just like me and we got 14, it's harder. It's hard to, go and make sure every single property has, hot cocoa bar with the coffee, right? Because you need that. You need to have the hot cocoa with the coffee. Even at the beach, it gets chilly, right? And, my wife is one. She loves her hot cocoa at night. And, during the holidays, turn on that Hallmark channel and pour a little hot cocoa and sit and watch. So these are some of the little things. So we're going to talk about some of those little things that you can do this holiday to make it a little bit memorable experience for your guests. And it's going to start with that first one, right? So it's going to start with, a hot, we all have a coffee bar. If you don't have a coffee bar in your short-term rental, you need one. This is like bare minimum amenity to be in the short-term rental space. Even if you have a one-bedroom studio, that person still wakes up and they don't want to have to go to Starbucks to get their morning coffee. Now, some of them will, and that's fine. But you need to have a coffee bar. You need to supply K-cups. You need to have a Keurig. You got to have those basics, sugars, creamers, that kind of stuff. People just expect that. If you get it at a hotel, you need to get it at a short-term rental. And every hotel has a coffee bar in the hotel room. So make sure you have your coffee bar, but expand that. And this could be a hot cocoa bar. I'm not saying just go get packets of hot cocoa. I'm saying get packets of hot cocoa. Get packets of mini marshmallows. Maybe even store some whipped cream in the freezer and have some canned whipped cream. Not a huge fan of that, but it will go a long way. Make sure you have mugs. And you could even add a couple holiday Christmas mugs in your short-term rental during this short period of time. If you're in the mountain, if you're in the Smokies or Branson or these really big holiday markets, you are decking out. You're fully Christmased out, right? You should have your Christmas lights up. You should have trees and wreaths and decorations, and it needs to feel like that winter wonderland because that's what people want. They want that experience. If you're at a beach market like me, we don't do Christmas trees. It's not a really popular thing. People don't expect it, so we don't do Christmas trees at the beach. But we do some of those little things, and adding that hot cocoa bar is one of those little things that you can do. Adding a couple little things in your property to make them feel like they're on vacation. If you have a hot tub, making sure that they have robes, making sure that they have slippers. These little things go a long way in the hospitality industry. At the end of the day, we are in the hospitality industry and we want to create memorable experiences for every single guest that comes. And you want to be able to have some of those additions into your property. Fire pits. If you have a fire pit, this is the time of year to get firewood. I'm not saying supply firewood year round, but for your holiday guests, supply it. Go get a few cases. Go get, a half a cord from a local guy for $100 and put it out by your wood burning fire pit. If you have a gas fire pit like we do, make sure you have enough propane tanks for that fire pit and make sure you're providing that. And yes, they may only be spending $150 to $200 a night at your property, and a propane tank is $20. But I'm telling you right now, during the holidays, if that $20 breaks your business, then this is not the right business for you. Have some extra propane tanks. Let them enjoy it, their family. Let them enjoy the experience. Make sure that they have those little things to be memorable. If you have that wood burning fireplace, even propane, have s'mores. Have some chocolate bars and some marshmallows and graham crackers, especially if you are in that mountain market or Branson, those kinds of areas, those big holiday markets. You want to make this a great memory for them, and they're going to come back year after year if you do. So these are some of those little things as we're going into the holiday season to prepare for and make sure that you have. We're in the first 2 weeks of December, so there are some markets out there that are slam busy right now. Our Branson properties are pretty much fully booked for the month of December, and we have guests coming in and out all month long. So we're not going in and doing a lot of maintenance stuff. We've got our holiday decorations. We've got our Christmas lights up. We've got everything kind of ready to go, but right now it's maintenance. But for the beach areas or for the non-big holiday areas, you're probably pretty slow. These 2 weeks are pretty slow, typically is. But you're going to pick up, and you're going to pick up by the weekend before Christmas all the way through New Year's. So make sure you look at your properties and see what you can do to create those memorable experiences going into next year, because that could be the guest that comes back and books some of your summer calendar. So something you can also do is make sure you have your direct booking website, make sure you have a QR code, whatever it may be, in your property to be able to give them so they can rebook and come back without, having to pay any Airbnb fees. Of course, now with the new Airbnb rules, guest doesn't pay Airbnb fees, but they can still get a 10% cheaper rate if they book direct than if they book with you on Airbnb, because you can give them that discount and still be making more money. So that's all I got for this week. It's early December. We'll be back next week with another podcast of the Co-Host Coach. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you then.